So welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to see the Kubespray method to configure the Kubernetes. Now in last couple of videos we have seen how to set up a single master Kubernetes cluster with the kubeadm method. We have successfully seen multi-master implementation of Kubernetes cluster with kubeadm method. Now we are going to discuss about Kubespray method to create multi-master environment. See, normally what happen, we know what is the step-by-step instructions which I can perform on every machine manually, and I will create my cluster, correct? But you can execute this particular task with the help of manual approach. Let's say I do have 10 node cluster, 20 node cluster, then it's very good approach that you can write a script. You can either do it manually and you can create your cluster. But if you talk about huge clusters, means 100 nodes, 200 nodes, 300 nodes Kubernetes cluster, then manual method or script based approach will not help. At that time we are using a Kubespray method. In Kubespray method, internally we are using another utility called as Ansible in order to create your complete environment, and you can help or you can create your complete cluster behind the scene with the help of Ansible. So Kubespray is a utility, okay? That utility will create a cluster, but this utility will take the advantage of Ansible behind the scene in order to create your cluster. Remember that. So here, before we go for actual Kubespray method, we should have a little bit understanding about Ansible, what Ansible do, what Ansible does, correct? So I just, in this video, I will give you the basic understanding about Ansible. Okay, how Ansible works, what is the logic behind the Ansible. Because if you want to understand Kubespray, you should understand Ansible. I'm not expecting that you should be the master of it, but at least you should understand what is the basic configuration which you can do it. Okay, what do you mean by the host configuration? What do you mean by playbook? Correct? So these are basic idea we are supposed to understand. So let's understand what is a configuration management tool is all about. Now in this category there are many tools are available. For example, you might heard about Puppet, very interesting tool. Okay, you might heard about Chef. There is one more tool is also very interesting, Salt Stack. Okay, there are many other alternative tools are also available with the configuration management category, correct? But we are simply focused on Ansible. Why? Now this Ansible utility is a agentless utility. That is the one of the great feature of this Ansible. Now, what do you mean by this? Why we want such kind of configuration management tools to be available? And what do you mean by agentless? Actually, we will understand in this video. See what happened if I give you the example that let's say I am running a data center over here. And within this particular data center, I do have a huge number of databases available. Or you can say I do have a huge number of database servers, or for simplicity, you can imagine I do have a huge number of application servers are available. Okay, so you can say I do have 100 plus application servers are available within my data center, correct? Now these servers which I'm talking about, that may be homogeneous or that may be heterogeneous. Now what do you mean by homogeneous and heterogeneous? Means all the operating system within this database servers or application servers, they are similar or they might be different, correct? They might be different or they might be same. There is no guarantee, correct? Some server might be running on Red Hat, some server might be running on Ubuntu, some server might be running on Amazon Linux, some server might be on SUSE Linux. Correct? Imagine these all servers, they are the part of the same network, but they are heterogeneous possibly. And imagine I would like to do a certain changes, similar say changes. I would like to perform some certain similar changes to all these servers. Let's say I would like to change the logical port number of application server. So initially imagine your application server was running on port number 80. You have changed that port to port number 8080. I would like to go to each and every server and I would like to change this port from 80 to 8080. And I would like to perform this logic, or I would like to configure all these settings on 100 plus servers. Correct? So there are 100 plus servers are available in my environment, and my manager told me go ahead and change this port from 80 to 8080. Now imagine if I cannot go do the SSH to every server, go to the configuration file of my application server, change the port number from 80 to 8080 and then come out of it, or I would restart that application server, come out of it, test it, then I will go to the next server. Now if I keep doing such kind of manual thing, it's a time consuming process. It's a time consuming process. Correct? Now to avoid this, earlier before this configuration management tool was developed, we do have a scripting approach. Some people might be thinking, why cannot I write the script over here? I do. I can write the script over here and imagine this could be a bash script. But remember that whatever script which I have to prepare, okay, so it could be a very complex script over here. So I have to make sure that all the validation should be available properly, and after that validation, whatever result which you are getting after the validation, according your script should work. And it should be non-interactive script, so no interaction, nothing should be available over there. Now this script is working on bash shell, but maybe one of the server does not have a bash, they do have a KSH or ZSH or CHSH, different shell. Now there is a possibility that your script which is written in the bash, it might have a different effect if I write the same script on the machine which is running with cron shell. Isn't it? Yes. Now I will not say that 100% it is going to fail, but there is a possibility, or you have to consider this possibility while writing your script, that if you come across any other alternative shells which is available on the top of any Linux based system, there is a possibility that whatever scripting which you have made technically might give the different effect if I run it on a KSH. It might give me the different effect if I am running CHSH. Correct? So scripting is a choice, but in scripting, I would like to do certain modifications according to the systems or according to the shell on which that particular script needs to be. Technically, what I'm doing, I am increasing my job over here. I'm not reducing it. Technically, I need to create a multiple script according to the shell on which that server is working on it. Isn't it? Yes. I reduce my work, but I have to write a very complex script. I have to manage those scripts properly over here. Correct? Now to avoid all these things, they introduce something called as configuration management tool. So what I will do it inside this entire data center, I will introduce a configuration management server over here. Okay, now in this case, in our case, I'm talking about Ansible. Okay, what I will do it, I will install one of the server as an Ansible controller. Now technically in Ansible there is no concept like a client and server. Any client can also be act like a server. Okay, But imagine we have to make sure that inside our environment, one of the server should be dedicatedly working as a Ansible server. Sometimes some people will call it as controller, Ansible controller. Some people will refer it as Ansible server. So inside my data center, I will introduce one server called as Ansible controller. Now this Ansible server will have the configuration which whatever configuration which you want to do it, this server do have a configuration, correct? Now this server will help all this configuration to be executed on all the remote machines. Means here I am executing the script over here. Now instead of running the script, Ansible will execute the playbook. There is a concept called as playbook. Okay. Now Ansible will do that particular job. Remember that. Now remember one thing, in case of Puppet and Chef, okay, in case of Puppet and Chef, it work on pull method. That means your configuration would be pulled from the server. So I need to install one agent on every server with respect to Puppet and Chef. Remember that. My Puppet and Chef is working on a pull method. Configuration pull method on which they are working on it. Now, if I would like to pull the configuration from this Chef server or Ansible server, I am supposed to install agent on every machine which I would like to use it with the help of Puppet and Chef. So in Puppet and Chef, I required an agent. But what I talked about Ansible, Ansible is agentless. Ansible working on a push method. Which method Ansible is using? Push method. Correct? So my clients are not pulling the configuration over here. My server is pushing the configuration to the client. So whenever you're pushing the configuration to your client, I do not require any agent to be installed on the client side. That's why it's agentless. That's why I do not require any particular agent to be installed on my client machine. The only requirement should be Python should be installed on your all the client machine. But Python is not an agent kind of a thing. It's a simple Python you can say development kit. You are supposed to install it over there. That's it. Ansible using SSH method in order to push the configuration on the remote machine. Now every machine which is a client machine with respect to Ansible, every machine do have by default SSH utility installed because that is a part of your operating system. So I don't want to install any special agent for Ansible. Ansible take the advantage of this SSH utility which is by default installed on the operating system, and he will push the configuration over the SSH to this remote machine. That means whenever you want to use Ansible inside your environment, you are supposed to make sure that your SSH should be enabled on every machine and you should have a Python installed on your every machine. These are the only two mandatory configurations you are supposed to do. That's it. Then Ansible will take the configuration, he will talk to that remote server over the SSH protocol, and he will push whatever configuration is available with Ansible controller, and it will push it to the correct. So Ansible will write the configuration whatever you want to do it. For example, application port needs to be executed from 80 to 8080. Correct. If I would like to do this, Ansible will suggest you that whatever you want to do the changes, whether you want to do installation, you want to create a configuration file, you want to modify anything, you want to create a user over there, you want to start the service, you want to uninstall the package, any action you want to do it, you should write that action in the form of playbook. Now playbook could be written in the form of YAML file. Now when you go to the Ansible training, actually I would have a planning to start a Ansible also parallelly along with the Kubernetes. Okay, but right now understand, whenever you are writing a script, I told you scripts are very complex. You have to write a complex logic for validation, and then my script will go ahead and proceed with that. And I have to make sure that the script should be non-internet. Instead of that, Ansible is using YAML syntax. Okay, now scripting is a procedural approach. Okay, scripting is a procedural approach. I need to write down the complete procedure, that how to do it, how to validate it, isn't it? Yes. If I want to install the package, I need to write a script how to install the package. RPM command, yum command, whatever logic of command I am supposed to execute it, I need to write the procedure over there. Okay, this package has to be executed. These are the commands should be executed. This is a procedural approach, means I have to write a complete procedure of the installation of the package also over here. But in Ansible, it's a declarative approach. What kind of approach is there? Declarative. That means I don't need to write the procedure over here in Ansible playbook. I just need to tell him this package name and you are supposed to install it. But whatever procedure I want to do it, that procedure will call it as module concept over here. Okay, there is a concept called as module is available inside Ansible. Now here I am writing the complete installation process as a script. Now here I just don't need to write down what you want, how to install it. You are supposed to use the model instead of that. Module is nothing but the procedure, how to do it. I just need to declare that module and provide the name of that particular package I want to install it. For example, if I go for a procedural approach, I am supposed to write down yum install, for example, tree minus y. So I need to write this procedure of the installation of the tree command into the script. But before I write this, I need to make sure that tree is available. If the tree is available, then only you can execute this command, or if it is not available, you can skip this. But I have to write the complete procedure over here. Here, I don't want to write the procedure. I just need to declare it, because whatever procedure you want to execute, that procedure is written in the form of module. So what I need to do it, I just need to declare this is my yum module and I want to install tree. This is the declaration which I am supposed to do it in the playbook. Yum is the name of the module, and what I want to install with the yum, tree is the name of the package. So do I need to write this particular command in a playbook? No, because this command's logic is already written in this module which you have declared. Now this module help you to execute this command as a module on the remote machine. That's why Python is installed, because this all the modules which is developed by the Ansible, it is written in a Python. Module means procedure. Module means procedure, how to do it. Now that is written in a Python in Ansible. So Ansible say you are not supposed to write anything like a procedure. Just declare which module you want to execute on a remote machine, and along with that module, what argument you want to pass it, pass that argument. That complete playbook will go to the remote machine through SSH. Python is already installed, module is already declared over here, and he will execute everything on that remote machine with the help of SSH protocol. This is called as Ansible. That's why it's agentless, declarative approach. I don't want to write a procedure that how to install it. Just declare what you want to install. You want to create a user. You're not supposed to go ahead and write a user and a command. Just type user module, name of the user you want to create. Automatically that module do have a logic written that how to create a user. There is very interesting feature is available inside Ansible that is called as item idempotency. What do you mean by this? Now imagine I have a script over here and I would repeat that script twice on a single machine. Let's say on the first time the script is executed, whatever modification has been done, that is done on this machine. Now once again by mistake I will run this particular script. Imagine what will happen. Your script will throw an error and it will come out. Why? Because he said that the such package is already installed. This configuration is done. People say, sir, in that case we can put a logic of that also. Yes, but once again, what is the procedure? You have to add more and more logic inside your script in order to avoid such kind of cases. Exception handling logic, you are supposed to write it down, because you have to write down the procedure how to install it, correct? But in Ansible there is a feature called as idempotency already available. What do you mean by idempotency? If I take a playbook which is already executed on this machine, immediately if I re-executed the same playbook over there, okay, if I re-execute by mistake the same playbook over here, your Ansible immediately come to know that, oh, this playbook is already executed, whatever necessary changes is already done. He will skip it, okay, he will not do any modification. He will keep it as it is and he will go to the next step. So Ansible is a kind of a software which will push your configuration over the SSH protocol across all the machines. It is agentless. Your only Python should be installed on your client machine. That is the only requirement. Whatever configuration which I want to push it on the remote machine, I am supposed to write it down, that configuration, in the form of playbook. That playbook is written in a YAML file in a declarative fashion. So I do not want to write how to do it. I just want to declare what module I want to use it. And that module could be yum module, user module. If you can go to the website provided by Ansible, you can say Ansible modules over here. You would be able to see there is a complete documentation available, that these are the modules available. These are the category of the modules are available, and these are the list of modules. That means this module is nothing but a piece of Python code where the procedure has been written already. For example, we are talking about yum module over here. You can see yum module. You don't have to write down how to execute yum command. You just need to declare this piece of logic over here. Okay, for example, this is a yum module. Which package you want to execute? Name, state of this particular package, latest. That means I am supposed to go ahead and install the latest version of the package. So this is a declarative approach which is available in Ansible. Correct? Now this is the logic of Ansible as a configuration management tool. So Kubespray method take this advantage. He said, okay, then whatever prerequisites are available, okay, whatever installations are available, I can write everything as a playbook. I will take the advantage which is built-in modules are available. Now whatever module list which I gave you, these are called as built-in modules. Means this module will automatically get installed when you install Ansible. You don't have to go ahead and install anything extra. These are by default available. So I will take the advantage of this built-in module and I will do all the necessary installation configuration with the help of Ansible, rather with the help of Ansible playbooks over here. Correct? But I need to inform the Ansible that how many workers are there, how many masters are there. Correct? Because master configuration do have some different setting, worker configuration do have some different setting. Correct? So that is the only information which I would like to provide it, and for that there is a concept called as host concepts are available. Now host is a file which I need to maintain and give it to the Ansible, and I will tell the Ansible, okay, these are the machines where you want to run this playbook. So if I have 100 servers, I will list down the IP address or the name of that particular machine under the host file. And I will execute the playbook on the top of this particular host. What will happen? It will run entire set of playbook on the declare host given by you. So he will go ahead and do the SSH to every host which is written in this host file and execute that playbook on that particular machine parallelly. Remember that this action to be happened parallelly. So he will do the parallel SSH to this 4 server, take the playbook, whatever you declare inside the playbook, he will execute the task on these 4 machines, for example, at the parallel. Correct? This is called as Ansible as a configuration management. Correct? Very simple, straightforward logic. This logic would be considered as a very interesting logic in order to deploy Kubernetes. So the Kubernetes would be installed, configured with the help of Ansible inside your Kubespray method. Correct? I hope you understand what do you mean by Ansible now. Now this is very basic theoretical concept which I have explained to you. In next video, I will tell you that how you are going to install Ansible on the top of your, correct? Because that is the controller node we have to build up first for our Kubespray method. Correct? So I will stop it over here. In the next video, I will tell you that how to set up the controller node inside your environment. And then after that, we will start installing Kubespray method in order to create your cluster, multi-master cluster inside your environment. Okay. So thank you very much. I will stop the video. Wait for my next video, that is the installation on the controller node. Thank you.